Uh, Good evening, everyone. Distinguished guests and the award winners, congratulations. Great to see all of you doing amazing things in deep tech domain and getting recognition on this stage. So I think I have the enviable task of summarizing what we did over almost 6 months in terms of working with the various startups, understanding them, analyzing them, and taking it forward. I think I don't need to speak too much on this, but India is the land of innovation and ecosystem development, right? We are in a space where startup ecosystem is thriving and a lot of innovation is happening. If we see over last 1 year, almost 950 plus deep tech startups have been started in India. We have received almost $6 billion of funding in this particular domain, and these startups come from various areas, right? They come from biotech to space to AI to accounting efficiencies to consumer X efficiencies, etc. So we have a spectrum of deep tech startups across various domains that we are looking at. Going forward, I think what was the objective of this award? I think this has been happening over last 2 plus decades, and the key attempt of Emerge 50 Awards was to look at what is happening on a live basis and what are we seeing in the startup trends at this point of time. So that was one of the key objectives. I think we wanted to highlight some cutting edge sectors which are emerging and where we see live opportunities at this point of time, and which of these startups can get to the next stage and add value to not only to Indian ecosystem but larger global ecosystem and serve their customers and generate value for them. Uh, I think the intent is, as part of this program, number one, to provide visibility and recognition. Number two, to provide networking opportunities and also provide mentorship and guidance, right, which these startups will need to accelerate their sales, drive them forward, and also finally, which is the key aspect of this, right, all of them will need market access. I think our focus is to look at market access, how these startups can scale up, get to the new dimension, and add to the technology unicorns which we have already in this ecosystem. I think if out of these 50, 10 startups can get to a unicorn stage, that would be a brilliant achievement as far as this initiative is concerned in that particular sense. I think what we see from a startup ecosystem and what we see from a deep tech startup ecosystem, we see certain challenges and certain opportunity areas in this domain. I think one key point remains that we need to define growth strategies which can enable these deep tech startups to go to the next stage, achieve the potential that they have. And we have identified few key pillars that we are looking at, right? One, they need partnerships and alliances, because all of these startups are trying to solve a business problem which will need support from other ecosystem players, partnership and alliances, and take it forward in that sense. Obviously, capital is important. I think capital needs to come in various forms and shape, from government, from private sector, from investors, VCs, PE funds, etc., and we take it forward from there. And finally, we need these startups to continue innovating on their business models, work on their business models, work on the way they can take them to next stage and drive it going forward. So I think this is just the start for these deep tech players, right? And that's what we can look at it, and that's what we can drive it forward. I think finally, I would like to touch in detail upon the process that we ran, right? And it was a very extensive effort along with the nasscom team. We did this over almost 4 to 5 months. And we got an overwhelming response on this. So firstly, we developed a framework in terms of which industries to look at, how to go about it, how to drive that. And we came up with a list of almost uh, and we promoted it across various social media platforms, etc. Based upon that, we got a very overwhelming response, and we got almost 650 plus entries for nasscom's this edition of Emerge 50 Awards. And not to say all of them were fairly unique and fairly interesting, right? And it was a very difficult task to shortlist from that 650 to 50, right? I would say almost 50% of them were very unique, very enterprising, and very innovative. So this shows the depth of the entire program which existed, right? So almost 300 to 350 startups were very close in terms of scoring as well. So what we have is a very flourishing ecosystem in terms of deep tech startups. So the first phase was a detailed analysis which we went through and a detailed framework that we applied. And based upon that, we came up with top 150 startups. And then we had a very extensive jury round. Our jury members came from VCs and private equity funds. They came from emerging organizations like Microsoft, Google, etc. And also they come from leading tech organizations in India like TCS, etc. And based upon that evaluation, we finally came up with what we say League of 10 and emerge 50 top 50 organizations that we are highlighting. And I would again like to congratulate them on achieving this prestigious recognition. However, I would like to say that all the 150 organizations were very unique, and I congratulate all those 150 organizations which existed and could can be the next phase of growth as far as deep tech ecosystem in India is concerned. Finally, I would just like to say that it has been an amazing experience for us looking at these 650 plus startups, particularly in deep tech domain, which would be the next cutting edge of technology development in India. And we found, if you saw the list as well, there were interesting startups from space tech to energy to agri to fintech to mobility to enterprise tech to robotics to health tech to biotech and nanotech. So finally, to end this, I think I would just say this is just the beginning for these startups, and this recognition is just a big step in their journey forward, and hope they achieve and realize the potential that they are looking for. So thanks everyone. Have a good evening, and congratulations to Emerge 50 award winners. Thank you.